I'm Pej.
And I'm Paul. Welcome to Techie Dads. And today we're going to talk about sort of a head-to-head Apple Watch versus Microsoft Band
2.
Generation 2. So why don't you go first?
Where we go first? All right. So Band 2, as you can see, it's large. All right, not as large as the Apple phone, but it's not like a Fitbit, which Fitbit is very thin. Obviously, you can buy the Fitbit watch and it's bigger. But nice screen. Here, I'll just turn it on. And on the back there, you've got your sensors. You've got a sensor here. This is what I use to charge.
Right.
This is kind of neat. This is UV sensor, so you can, like as a dad, it's cloudy. You go, do I have to lather up my kids or not? And this will kind of tell you, give you a rating.
UV index. Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. On the front here, touch screen. So I've got my notifications. It tells me if someone's called. It has Skype on here. Has Cortana on here as well, but I haven't quite used that yet. But it's kind of neat. You got your weather apps, calendar, fitness apps. So if I want to go a run or a bike ride, I hit it. One thing that's kind of neat with this, it's got GPS built in, so it'll give you a route and whatnot.
Right.
Basically, it does things that you would expect from one of the fitness generation type things. Does your sleep as well, vibrates to wake you up. Has this unique thing where it kind of senses your REM patterns and will wake you up at an optimal time if you want, or it will wake you up at the time that you set. But as I mentioned, it's kind of big. But
they have different sizes, right?
Yeah, small, medium, and large.
Right.
Snaps on, which is kind of nice. Reminds me a little bit of my Nike Band. They don't make those anymore, but yeah, it's kind of. I like it because it does activity, it does sleep, it does notifications. That's key. I get about 2 to maybe 3 days of battery life.
I was going to ask battery life. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
so
not bad.
Full day using it and at night. 2
Yeah.
to 3 days.
You got 2 buttons here. So one is the turn on and I can move things around, switch. The other one is your activity button. So if I go back to the home screen, push the button, it tells me my steps, it tells me the dates, it tells me how far I've traveled today,
Even shows the time.
calories.
Amazing.
It does do time, which is important.
Right.
Pretty cool. I got 4 people have pinged me today, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so it kind of removes the need to wear a watch as well because it's kind of thicker as I open this with.
Right.
I do like it. I think the challenge for me is because it works day and night is when you charge it, right? So
Yeah.
I've pushed it and I actually set up to go to sleep and wake me up in the morning. It rang once and then the battery just died, right? It's just like, okay, you have to charge me now or we have a problem. But picked it up at the Microsoft store over the holidays for like $229. So it's relatively inexpensive.
That's a good price, especially for, I don't know what the Garmin devices, I'm trying to think of other ones that actually have GPS built in.
Fitbits are like $150-ish.
And not tethered to your phone, but GPS within that is actually...
Yeah, that's true, because the Fitbit GPS one's like in the 2-somethings.
Yeah.
So, I think they're all going to be, you want one fully featured, it's about $200, $200-$300, right?
So to get apps on there and to basically administer the phone, you can use...
Everything's, you can use your Apple phone, your Windows phone, if anyone has any of those, or your Android device. So basically, this collects all the data, and then your phone shows you all the data.
Does it connect or interface with the PC itself? Or is
No.
No. Okay.
It's Bluetooth connection to your phone.
Okay.
You do all of your daily, weekly analysis all on the phone.
Okay.
You can download apps. So one of the cool things on this is actually, if you want to get into running,
right.
Just as an example, you can go download a running app and it will tell you, here's the exercise you need to do today.
Right.
Yeah, you need to run 10 minutes, or you need to walk for 5 and whatnot. So you can download all these types of apps, put them on your phone and run them, and then you track, your band tells you what to do, and the phone will give you the analysis of what you're doing. And there's a whole bunch of apps that are coming. And one of my favorites apps is the Seattle Seahawks app, which basically tells me when the next game is, what the score was, and stuff
So
like
how many
that.
apps are in the store? It's not games, obviously. It's more geared towards fitness and health.
Fitness, health, notification, types of activity. And
right.
The development language is very simple. You can pretty much create your own app. I don't know how many. They're growing the fitness types apps. There's a lot of different ones in there.
Right.
It might be interesting to take a look, but if you can go download it. The thing that I like about it is it works with any phone. collects all the data. If you don't have a phone, you can still use this thing.
Right.
All right. But all of the customization really happens with your phone.
And it lasts a long time, and it charges fast.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Apple, what do you think?
Apple Watch. So this is the Apple Watch, not the Sport, even though it's really just a cosmetic difference in terms of the finish. And I have a couple of different bands, which Apple's releasing all the time, including the other day, even more bands that you can use. So it's a piece of jewelry you can use.
Call it that.
Well, and I think technology-wise, the way I look at this thing is it's second screen for your phone, for your iPhone in particular, right? So if you don't
that's an important distinction because
iPhone.
it's only iPhone, right?
Yeah.
So second screen for your iPhone.
Right, and it uses the iOS apps, and it uses that to a lot of the apps now are starting to support the phone, and then use that as a second experience to give you some added functionality or interactivity when it makes sense to do that. I think it's taken a while for the development community to figure out what to put on here.
But they've got over 100 or so apps that are coming out there. Thousands. So I mean, big ecosystem.
Right.
And primarily, I think to your point is it's basically notification of activity. So I mean, one of my favorite things that I saw is I travel a bit, and there was a guy. You have your phone in the wallet, you stick out. And if you have a big phone, it's kind of awkward.
Yep.
Guy just put his watch there and bang, it was all the way through. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Right. So using it for your airport tickets or whatever, you can get that on here as well. It's highly customizable in terms of what you see on that screen, whether you're more focused on your meetings or the weather, or they call them complications, which are basically all the widgets and things that you see on the main screen. So it's highly personalizable. And just to contrast it with the band, battery life nowhere near 2 to 3 days. Because it doesn't really do anything for sleep, the idea is that you would charge it while you sleep, which is what I do.
So there's your comment about it's a piece of jewelry, right? So you take it off at night.
Take it off, you charge it. It's generally, for me, around 25 to 30%.
That's not bad.
Free when I go to bed or whatever. So presumably it would last full 24 hours, and if it gets to the last 10%, it can go in low power mode.
Standard charger or a custom charger?
It's a custom charger. It's basically this little puck that charges into a USB port or into the wall,
right?
And it just magnetically sticks to it.
And that the same here. So that metal connection back here, this is the charger,
right?
But it's a custom charger. I would have loved the micro USB because then I don't have to carry something yet around, right? But yeah, so custom. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it sticks to it, and then from there, this thing's loaded with sensors, right? Accelerometer, it does not have a built-in GPS. It actually leverages the GPS in the phone to sort of calibrate how many steps you've taken and how much you've traveled if you're doing outdoor activities and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're not using it with the phone, it would be less accurate, although it will kind of train itself after the first week or so of using it. But in terms of checking my heartbeat and pulse and allowing me to put in, it'll sync with eye health, and so if you have a scale like I do that checks your BMI and your weight and everything else, all of that data gets into there, which I can see on the watch and on the phone, but that's kind of the nexus of all of that data. So it's just more the sensor data that's being compiled with this in addition to your phone is pretty powerful.
And the haptics on that are actually pretty cool, right? So
I think that's the best thing that I use it for is I've basically muted it, even though I can take calls on this. It does have a speaker and a microphone, and I've taken calls on that, and my wife couldn't tell that I wasn't on the phone.
Get smart right there, right?
It feels awkward as a habit, and I more use it as a screening device to say, okay, this call's coming in, I know who it is, I want to take it, or I want it to go to voicemail. Freeing you from...
I can do that on this too, but I think the fact that if you had to, you could take a call, even if it's hey, I'll call you right back and whatever. I mean, I know you could send that as a message as well, but I mean, if you need, that's kind of cool.
And you can kind of go semi-stealth mode to say, okay, I'm not going to ring, but I'm going to get taptic feedback that call came in, so that I can look at it, decide whether I want to take the call, but I haven't disturbed anyone in the room. So that's kind of a more passive way to be notified of it. And it works with maps, and if I'm walking down the street and I'm doing directions.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Or driving, it's nudging me to go left or right. So again, it's not relying just on audio feedback. And then, there's no typing on this thing. You're relying on Siri dictation really as an interface to interact with this thing a lot. Even though it does have a crown on the side and one other button to get to your contacts to make a quick call, which I rarely use, by the way. But I use Siri all of the time, right? So if I want to check, weather, or if I want to say, start a 30-minute elliptical workout or whatever, bang, I just say that, and away it goes.
That's not. Do you have to say, "Hey Siri," or is it just
if I just hit the button?
But can you say "Hey Siri" or something like that? Or
the phone will do that,
right?
But the watch.
Not the watch. All right. So very similar. I guess it comes down to type of lifestyle. If you have an iPhone and you want a piece of jewelry that does a lot of activity,
the ecosystem's growing all the time, right? So it really does.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you want a fitness, health-oriented thing, I mean, I made fun of who owns a Windows Phone. I own a Windows Phone. It's by far my favorite app because I go to it all the time. I check it, and it has all my data on here, which is really cool. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't wear a watch with either one of these devices.
No, there's places to watch. This is my watch.
Yeah, and then this one, it's big that I like wearing a watch, but I mean, I'm not gonna wear both. I feel kind of silly if I do that. So
we can do another episode or whatever if people want to know about what the cool apps are, or the 10 apps.
I think that'd be kind of cool just to see the apps. I'll have to check what apps I have.
Apps out there, but there's some good ones.
Well, it's just like like any other phones, any smartphones. There's a ton of good apps and shitty apps, and it's about which ones
did you use this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
great. Thanks.
Cool.
I'm Paul.
I'm Pesh.